Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
Hi, I'm Jessica Faust.
We are literary agents who have taken our popular blog to YouTube to discuss all things publishing. And today, we're going to be a little controversial, I think. I think. I don't know. I think don't come for us. Our advice today is to not have a dream agent.
Don't have a dream agent.
Yep, we just lost about like 80 viewers.
Everybody because they were like, agent. You were my dream agent, but now I guess I don't have to watch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch this crap no more.
I mean, I like when people say you're my dream agent. It's super flattering.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah, and I think it's natural to have one, right? Like it's natural when you see, good parasocial relationship, whatever. You see people on social media and you're like, oh, they would be great to work with. That's natural.
Well, we do it with publishers.
Oh, totally. And how many times have we done it with a publisher? We were like, I read like 5 books from X and they're not my vibe.
Yeah, I thought they were like a dream publisher, but then I realized I'm never going to sell to them because I don't represent that kind of book.
So the reason why we're saying this, I guess we should not leave them in suspense anymore, is we think that until you have an offer of rep, until you've gotten on a call with an agent, you kind of don't know what you don't know. You don't have an idea of who or what your dream agent is actually going to shape up to be.
Yeah, and let's be honest, social media, including this YouTube, is all a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Like, who we present ourselves.
I don't know. I like to think we're this much of a mess in person. So
we really are. We're also this much fun.
Yeah, you're right.
Or we think.
We have to pat ourselves on the back here.
But I think, there is a persona, all of us, most of you viewers included, put out on social media. And I think, sometimes unintentionally. It's just that, we're not going to reveal all of our dirty laundry publicly for obvious reasons. It's why when you go on Instagram, every family looks so happy. That's just, that's not real life.
Not real life.
So yes, until you've actually met and talked to an agent, be careful. It's okay to have a dream agent. I'm not going to say you can't. It's just be careful not to let yourself have only one dream.
I was just going to say, I think having a dream agent is super limiting and also super deflating, especially if that dream agent passes. So what we think is dream qualities that you want in an agent. And it's okay if your dream agent might not possess every single one of those, or vice versa. Like every agent you query doesn't possess every single one of those. But there are things that you're looking for in a business partner that might not be fulfilled by one person, or the person that you thought could fulfill them doesn't have that same vision. So it's really important to have that open mind and approach it as, what am I looking for in an agent, as opposed to who am I looking for?
Yeah, and it's knowing yourself too. And this is really great preparation to have anyway before you get on that offer call, because those offer calls can be overwhelming. So knowing ahead of time what you're looking for helps put things into perspective. And we've come up with sort of a short list of things you should think about, but ultimately also know yourself and what you want in a business partner, what you want, what kind of personalities that you've worked with, that you've been friends with, that are in your critique group, work for you, and what kind of personalities do you butt up against, or that aren't, driving you. So, I'm going to use a coaching example in sports. Some coaches are yellers, some are not. Some people respond to yellers, some people do not. I don't know if I do or not. But I think knowing how you react in those situations, do you need somebody who's constantly on you? Do you prefer a little bit more freedom? How do you work best is important to know when talking with agents and helping to define a dream agent. And there's no way to know this until you talk to somebody.
Or, this is another controversial opinion, until you've worked with somebody. Like if you don't have experience of working with an agent, you might think but then you work with them and you're like, I was wrong. I don't think I know. But just to be a bit more specific about that, editorial wise too, right? Like, how comfortable are you with having someone who's rolling up their sleeves and diving into your manuscript and telling you what needs to be changed and working with you editorially? A lot of writers have that question: are you an editorial agent? But what does that look like for you as well? What do you want? How editorial do you want? Because you can say, I like big picture, but when you start getting there and tweaking my commas, I'm not happy with that.
Yeah.
Right. So it does matter, like, what kind of editorial feedback are you looking for?
Yeah. And how willing are you to give up some control of your book to this person?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I may not trust agent A as much as I feel I do with agent B. And even though agent A was once my dream agent, the truth is I felt safer with agent B.
It's a connection. It's a vibe. It's definitely just the way you communicate and work together, which actually brings us to our next point, right? Like, what type of communication are you looking for? Do you prefer phone calls? Do you prefer regular phone calls? Would you like Zoom? Do you want to be in person? Do you want email? Like, what is it that you're looking for in an agent? Because there are some agents that don't communicate the way that you might be looking for, and
Yeah.
it's really important to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't mean you always have to find the one person who only communicates the way you do, but are
Right.
you comfortable communicating? I set very specific boundaries about
Yeah,
the way I
communication's a give
communicate
and
with
take.
clients. Yeah, I don't, for example, I know some agents will communicate via text with their clients and DM. I don't.
I
It's
try
a
not to, yeah.
it's a solid boundary for me. One, because if I get a text from you on a Sunday afternoon when I'm cocktailing with friends on the patio, I don't want that to interrupt my day, and I don't want to respond in a way that might be different where I thoughtfully in the office with time to in my work
Not
head,
getting the best me. Yeah.
in my work head. So, but also there's a certain, I refer back to old emails all the time. People, editors, authors ask me questions. An author asked me a question about something an editor said. I can go through old emails. I'm not going to also then go to my DMs and go to text and think, where did that come
I
from?
delete my texts because after a while, I've only got so much storage on this here device. Like, I'm trying to get some back.
Yeah.
And also timelines. It's crucial for an agent to have some grasp of timelines. And
Yeah.
if you know, like, oh, I had that call with Jessica on, crap, what day was it? I don't know. And that's the day that we discussed that I would follow up in 3 weeks. And what was 3 weeks? Like, all of that,
Yeah.
it's a system that each agent has, right? But I use that to be
Yeah.
like, okay, this is when I have to do this, or this is when we did that. Now it's time for this. So if I don't have a record of that, I kind of freak out.
Yeah, no, totally, totally. And I like phone calls and I like Zoom. They're never my first go-to, but there are some agents who always want to get on the phone to discuss revisions, to have conversations, to have things like that. I will if that's what a client needs and wants, but a lot of times email works just as easily. I think especially with clients who are working other jobs or doing other things, trying to catch each other on the phone can be really tricky.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
And then your whole day is spent on the phone, right? Like, we can schedule emails, we can carve time out of our day to do that. We could, if you're on the phone all day with we have a lot of clients. If we're on the phone every day with every client, we're not getting any work done. A phone call, look, we tried to film this video, we started an hour ago. Like, you just start talking, and that, at least for us, right? Like, we're talkers.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for things to get sidetracked, and email is focused.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with you. Another thing to consider is the vision. How would an agent envision your book?
Yeah, and this is something that everybody says all the time, but I'm not sure people really explain in a bigger way. And maybe we need to do an entire video. We're starting to do some Friday
I was just
shorts.
gonna plug them. We've got a few of those.
Yeah, maybe a Friday short is really, what is vision? What do agents mean when they say vision? But what we mean, there's a lot of things that go into vision. Editorial feedback is one, but also publisher, genre, editors, all of that can be part of what my vision is for your book, and also what your vision is for your book.
Right. And that is one of the most crucial things to get right. Because if you have someone who maybe sends more emails than phone calls, but they believe in the book and they click with you on what you think that book is, it forms trust.
Yeah.
Because you know that you feel your book is in the right hands, and that they're presenting your book to the world in the way that you want it to be presented.
Yeah.
And that is one of, if not the most crucial, one of the most crucial things about the author-agent relationship.
Yeah, and one example is, if you see your book as upmarket fiction, and you see it going to upmarket fiction publishers and editors, That might be very different than more commercial, let's say, mystery editors.
Right.
If I see it as commercial mystery and you see it as upmarket fiction, and that's not a conversation we've had, you're not likely going to be happy with the editors who end up offering, because that's
Right.
not, because
And
that's the
people feel
direction I went.
strongly about that. Like it's something that you feel strongly about your book.
Right. 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 And maybe it's just a matter of a conversation explaining my vision, understanding yours, and how we can come up to a middle ground. But knowing what the agent's vision is and being comfortable with it is important.
Right. Yep, for sure. Okay, probably the easiest one to gauge is personality mesh. Do
Yeah.
you get along? Does your personality mesh with that person? And this is a great way to, before in the querying trenches, this is one of the easiest things to sort of figure out from social media. Does it seem like that's the kind of person that I would get along with? Do I like their humor on social media, or the way they present themselves? Is that something that I could get along with?
Assuming they're on social media.
Right.
Don't discount agents just because they're not on social media. Not everybody is, and not everybody spends that much time there.
Yeah.
And
not everybody's filming YouTube videos.
Not everybody.
Though I will say, like, that's made our offer calls a lot different, right? Because a lot of people know us and feel they know us a little more personally than others might. So it's a big draw. And when people query us, they know that they're querying us because they like us.
Yeah. And we really are us.
Yeah. Not capable of being anything else. So
I guarantee a bad joke on at least one offer call.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I would say, everybody has had that situation where you meet somebody and you sort of stammer around and look at the ceiling because you have nothing to say to each other. If that's your experience with an agent, then it's probably not a good fit. It's not likely to suddenly change.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. This is actually a great tip, and I think that you added it in there. It says, if I were to write a page on what my relationship/partnership with my agent is like, what does that look like? And does this agent that you are presumably going to query fit that role?
Yeah, I've done a lot of journaling and reflection on various aspects of my life. And one of the things I've done that has been really helpful is writing a vision, just free writing a vision of what you want your life to look like as if it were present. So instead of saying, I want my life to look like, you write it as if I am sitting on the beach. I have a great book by my side. You write it as if you're living in it. Do that for your writing career. I have an agent.
Mm-hmm.
My agent is, and name personality traits.
Right.
Name what phone calls are like, what emails are like, what kind of other authors your agent is representing, how your agent makes you feel, how your agent propels you, whatever it is you want. I think writing that and using that will help guide you in knowing who is a good fit for you.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of advice. And I think it's part of that whole like manifestation thing, right? Like you put it out there.
Big fan of putting it out there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then one more crucial piece of advice is to remember, especially querying is a very community kind of experience, right? You're always hearing what other people are doing. One person's dream agent, and this is another reason why we say don't have them, but one person's dream agent can be another person's nightmare.
So much so.
And sometimes you don't know that until you're working with them.
Yeah, but I have been people's nightmares, I am certain. There are plenty of people I have met over the years who want nothing to do with me. Based on the comments, there are people who watch this YouTube who don't like me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because
Yeah,
I am not everybody's cup of tea.
Right. Yeah. Well, also like a dream can turn into a nightmare, right? And I think having that, I think what we're saying too is having that more like starry-eyed approach to this is not realistic, and it only sets you up for disappointment, inevitably, right? Like it can happen.
Yeah, and I want to sort of expand on something you've hit on and hinted on a couple of times, and the idea that sometimes you don't know until you're working with the person. And I think one of the problems of having that dream agent and hearing from other authors, oh my God, you signed with James McGowan, I can't believe it, he's a dream. If the relationship isn't working for you, it makes it harder for you to make an appropriate professional decision and say, you know what, we don't communicate well, our visions no longer align. I've decided I want to start writing something completely different than what they represent. Whatever it is, it makes it harder for you to make a really smart professional decision because you're so caught up in, but this agent is a dream. The agent can still be a dream. They can still be an amazing person. You can still adore them. You can also decide that you shouldn't work together anymore.
Writing careers are fluid.
Yeah, and I have a number of former clients I'll run into. I'm thrilled to see their successes. I celebrate them. We were just not a fit for whatever reason, and it's
Right.
fine.
Careers pivot and change. And also, it could just be you. Sometimes people and relationships and things just serve their purpose. And
Yeah,
then you have to move on from them. And you have to, not saying that you're better than, but you have to grow from that
yep,
to the next person. So the dream agent thing can be super limiting, both before you're working together, when you're querying, when you're working together. It's something that can really trap you in this box of like, I can't lose this, but sometimes you have to.
yep. Yeah, that's a great ending.
Yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you back here next time. We post videos every Wednesday, and thank you for watching.
Bye.